Citizen Television.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. This is for Friday, December 18th, 2020. So, with that said, let's just do it sign by sign, beginning with Aries. So, greetings Aries and welcome to your horoscope. Mars gives you independence. It makes you want to act on your own. So that would be the first thing. It's independent action. Now we have we've got the moon pretty close to Saturn and Jupiter, and so there is on the 21st we've got this big deal of Jupiter and Saturn meeting each other in tropical zodiac Aquarius, but if you want to see it in the sky, you look at the constellation of Capricorn, and that's where you find it. Okay. But both Aquarius and Capricorn are pretty similar. They're Saturn-ruled signs. And because Saturn has age-old wisdom, there's a lot of intelligence here. And in a lot of ways, we could say this is intelligent design. And what else can I say about Jupiter and Saturn is that they're both the signs that deal with the coldest time of year. Sagittarius being late November through mid-December, Pisces being late February through mid-late March, and in between lies Capricorn and Aquarius. So these are times of the year that we in the Northern Hemisphere expect cold weather. And it requires a certain amount of ingenuity, inventiveness. It requires a certain amount of patience to get through that unpleasant cold. If you live 40 degrees north latitude or further, most of you know what I'm talking about. If you live south of 35 degrees north latitude, it's usually not that bad. You're in for an easier ride than most people. And what if you're in between? Well, you get a little bit of both. So for Aries this week, the focus with Mars in the first house is take initiative. With the Capricorn planets, which of course will pretty soon include the Sun. Sun goes into the tropical zodiac Capricorn winter solstice. And when is that? That is early Monday morning at 2:02 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this is the actual Yule, and we'll be welcoming back the light in just a few days. We'll be as dark as it's going to get, and so career moves. That's important. Where you're moving with your career, where you're going to let it take you. Lucky in love, but it's like, Aries with Venus in the 9th house right now, you're probably doing Zoom dates. Lust can be pretty strong, and it can be a factor that makes you take risks. So that's something too. Usually the male of the species takes the risk. And then they pay for it later for being inappropriate. But that's just not fair. Either way you look at it, it's not fair to the person receiving the lust that doesn't want it. It's not fair for the person wanting something that can't get it. It's all just pain and suffering out there, folks. And so one thing about Aquarius too is like there's a social inventiveness, and so somehow your social life is going to have a breakthrough, is what I'm predicting in the next couple of months. So let's see how that goes, and let's just talk about Taurus right now. Okay. Well, greetings Taurus, welcome to your horoscope. Uranus excites everything. Uranus brings surprises. And this has been a year of surprises. Now Venus is in the 8th house, so Venus being your ruling planet, it's like other people have control over what you want. If you're a male and you're married to a female, Venus symbolizes the spouse. In the 8th house, it is the spouse's money. It's also about other people's property. It can be about inheritance. It's about death, sex, rebirth, occult studies like astrology, the tarot. All of that is a little bit more activated. Now, Capricorn is a fortunate sign for you. So it's in your 9th house. So things should move pretty good for you. You should be a little bit luckier. Now, Aquarius, where Saturn and Jupiter are moving into, is your midheaven. This is where you work. This is your career. Saturn's a solid career planet. Jupiter doesn't hurt either. Jupiter could get you a job you like. How many people can say that? They have a job they really like. Probably less now than ever. With the pandemic, and some people are jumping to get a vaccination, and that's okay. That's your choice. I hear people have been getting sick from it. So there's some hazard, and normally they take 4 years before they're really safe, and I think they're at a 95 percentile. So I mean, one out of 20 of you might die, but that's okay because it's worth it. It's worth almost dying to fly. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. They'll probably, for people that don't want to get vaccinated, it'll probably be Corona Airlines. Oh boy, I don't know. I really don't know. You can't make this stuff up, and people controlling their own bodies seems like it would be an important issue. But we shall see. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, Sagittarius time was the partnership sign for you. That was your opposite. We're moving into Capricorn. Capricorn is going to bring about transformation. It's going to bring about change. It's going to bring about sex, death, other people's property, occult studies, because it's in your 8th house. That's what the 8th house rules. Now, in the 9th house, we have this conjunction with Jupiter and Saturn. It's like the two wisest planets in the wisest house, especially for Jupiter. So this is an empowered Jupiter. And a number of things, like in sidereal astrology, Vedic astrology, we look at the 9th house as the father, the guru, the teacher. It's also travel. It's also higher education. It could be religion, other people's religions, other people's cultures. And I think you're going to be more open to these things, and see where the religion is right, where the religion is wrong, what they do good, what they do bad. Now, some people are of the opinion it's all bad, and some other people are of the opinion it's all good. And most of us fall somewhere in between. I forgot the water. Oh well. All right. And so Mercury in Sagittarius, along with Venus, these are two Raja planets. You have a lot of passion for relationship right now. You have a lot of motivation to get the kind of job you want and work you want right now. And you can be a total sweet talker. Um, if you're into sales, Gemini, you're probably closing a lot of deals. Okay. Now we're headed into the land of Cancer. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. All right. So, we've got the Sun and Pluto in the 7th house. And are moving towards the 7th house. So you'll be doing some negotiation. You'll be interested in relationship, but things might change. Now that Saturn's in your 8th house, it can be really sort of like ego crushing. You know, there's probably a number of Cancers that got dumped. Doesn't that seem like a thing that happens to Cancers? They get dumped. I don't know. They might be the dumpee too. They could, you know, they could dump you. I know Cancers that are like, you know, if you're not mad at the people I'm mad at, I'm not going to be your friend. I mean, it's like, that's so stupid. But yeah, we're dealing with human beings here. We're dealing with human beings that have the same illusion that, you know, one party's better than the other, and that they're not both beholden to the will of international bankers. Just let's clear this stuff up for you, okay? This is a facade. Never mind the man behind the curtain. Do what you're told. Obey, 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 as Igor the Giant would say. You know, you've got good career mojo, Cancer. And I think that's where you should take it. You know, with Mars in the 10th house, 10 houses from the 10th house is the 7th house. And so that's where I see a lot of action taking place right now. And it'd be wise for you to pay attention to your health issues with Mercury and Venus in the 6th house. You know, do what you can, help others, do service work. You always feel better when we help others. And, you know, I mean, it's not going to be all easy. And it's like somehow you're going to have to rest because a lot of this is about other people's power. It's fine, you know, let them have it. All right. And here we are. Greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. So Sagittarius time, I mean, it rocks for Leo because that rules your 5th house. And so we still have that up through the weekend. But, you know, starting Monday, we wake up. Sun's in Capricorn. Capricorn rules the 6th house. 6th house is health issues. 6th house is service. It's the people you work with. It also can be like the house of obstacles and challenges. And it's also a house where we do service work and give to charity so we can overcome what's happening in the 12th house, the house of loss, and the house of some of our more negative karma that we have to deal with. So, if we can take the practical steps to fix things in the 6th house, we're going to have a nice finish. You know what I mean? It's really... You always want to start out with a good song and end with a really good song. Because it's like they'll remember the beginning and they'll remember the end. They won't always remember so much what's in the middle. And I can see a lot of Leos are dependent on technology for work right now. You know, because there's all this Zooming and Google Drive and, you know, Facebook Live and whatever kind of chat thing that you're working on, WhatsApp or, you know, any of those, they could be where you're at more because Uranus sort of rules technology and electricity. And, I mean, your love life should be kind of good. It should be better with Venus and Mercury in the 5th house. Or if you have children, you're much more pleased with your children right now. And maybe you're changing your travel plans to be within 150 miles, Where I live in Chico, California, there's a lot of really cool places within 150 miles. Mount Shasta, and as the crow flies, Mendocino and Humboldt County, and there's Lake Tahoe, and the Greater Bay Area. A lot of fun things to look at. Pay attention to your spiritual life. That's really the way out is in. If you're going through depression or anything you're going through, by looking within, you're going to get more out of life. Well, greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, for Virgo, what we have right now is we've got the sun moving out of the 4th house into the 5th house. Jupiter and Saturn together in the 6th house. It's about working on your health. It's about working on service, working on community projects with other people for greater good. There's this goal for greater good that's coming up in this Jupiter-Saturn connection for Virgos. I mean, it's like no surprise. Sagittarius time is more about staying at home for you and, your heritage, your mother, your parents, older adults, history, fixed assets, those are the things you're dealing with right now. Well, we're moving into Capricorn, and that's the 5th house. So what do you love? How do you express yourself? How do you do your artwork? Where can we see this? What's your relationship like with your children? And are you happy with them? This is another thing to look at. Now, with Mercury in Sagittarius, it's like you're conscious about what you're saying, and Venus is there too. You're conscious about how you're feeling and what your needs are right now. So it's about your needs, and maybe you've got some old books you want to sell or magazines, things like that. Maybe you have a vehicle you want to sell or buy. Some of that could happen while Mercury and Venus transit your 4th house. But overall, like as Sun moves into Capricorn, and since most of you are sidereal Leos anyhow, it's like pay attention to your heart. Pay attention to the spirit in which you do things and where you would like that to go. And with that, we can move on over, move it on over to Libra. So, greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. We want to keep things in balance. Sagittarius time was about the 3rd house, siblings, neighborhoods, information, working with your hands, your personal expression, where you find courage, where you need to make improvements in your life. Sun moves over into Capricorn. That's the 4th house. That's, your parents, your home, your family. Those of us with older parents during the pandemic, we're super concerned about them. We're hoping that they make it. We're doing it. Now, Jupiter, Saturn in the 5th house. The moon's there too. It's like this is a kind of a heart-opening weekend for you. And it's like you're looking at creative issues for yourself that are going to reflect a universal theme, a theme that's just bigger than the personal. And something that really, it touches your heart personally, but it's something that other people can relate to as well. And it's about blessings and it's about curses. It's about our joy and about our discipline. spiritual practice as a discipline. Every day, saying prayers, saying mantras, it really will help you at this time. Mars is in the 7th house. It can help you be a little more toned down with your aggression. It also could be other people getting in your face and telling you what they think of you for real. Sometimes that's the house of open enemies. I've heard it said in Western astrology. Of course, in sidereal, we don't look at it quite that way. Uranus in the 8th house. Sometimes that's unconventional views of sexuality and whatnot. And I mean, the people changing genders and stuff, I mean, that's pretty unconventional for old school people, even though that's been going on since probably the beginning of time. We've got North Node over there in the 9th house in Gemini. So you're hungry for information. You're hungry to learn things right now. And so this is about feeding yourself, feeding that hunger. Well, hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. Sagittarius time is about bringing in wealth, accentuating your values, and issues that might affect your mouth, teeth, throat. Now we're moving over into Capricorn, and that's your 3rd house. And so this is where you take courage in your life. This is where you glean information. This is where you work with your hands. This is where you contact siblings and friends you knew in high school, elementary school, old friends, cousins, your peers. And it's also about short distance travel too. And so there's some of that going down. Let's see. Well, yeah, Jupiter, Saturn, along with the moon this weekend, in your 4th house. I mean, the moon is like, this is my comfort place. I want my creature comforts. I want to be at home. I think I'd lounge around in my pajamas and robe all day, stay nice and cozy if it's raining or snowing or something outside, or cold and windy. And it's also about honoring your parents, honoring your ancestors, and it's about creating a personal feeling that you're able to take responsibility, that you're able to mature, and that you want to be guided by spirit. You want to be guided by God, Goddess as source for all things. And Mars is in the 6th house. This is a good time, to make that extra effort to get in shape, to physically work out, make yourself stronger. All right. Well, greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. This is a time for you to show your intelligence, to show your creativity, to show how lovable you are, not only to other people, but even cultivating self-love like never before. And now that the sun's moving out of Sagittarius on Monday morning into your 2nd house, this is where you begin to make money. This is where you begin to collect more resources. And this is sometimes where you're entertaining friends of family as well as family. This could be, getting dental work or a nose job or new glasses. Or just need a good neck massage, that could be part of it too. Aquarius rules your 3rd house, friends, neighborhood. You're going to see changes in your neighborhood and getting to know your neighbors. Suppose everything goes cashless. Maybe you want to barter with friends. Maybe you don't want to have everything recorded by this, big mother, big brother kind of system. You like your independence, your freedom, your privacy. So there's certain ways of working with that. Mars is in the 5th house, so you've got a lot of energy to come from your heart, to do creative projects. Especially something like dance or theater that's a little more physical, musical performances, things like that. Monitor your health, pay attention to it, do things that inspire good health. Relationship wise, it's going to be based on karma and past life at this point. And hopefully you'll be good. You're in a much more introspective space right now, though. All right. Well, greetings, Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. So, we're coming into you. This has been a darker, 12th house period, time of loss. It has not been fun. And, if you're like me, you're like, I can't wait till this is over. I'm so tired of this, all of it, as we leave one oppressive regime and we enter into another oppressive regime. Here's to the new boss, same as the old boss, as the Who said. You have karma in love, and you have karma in your own message. Like your dreams are telling you messages, Capricorn. Pay attention to those messages. Now that Saturn's in your second house, along with Jupiter, or it will be, money is going to be made. You're going to make yourself more financially secure. You might be a little bit insecure, but the thing is, you're going to patch up the leaks on the boat. Yeah. So that you can save money and that you can do better in every way. You like having spiritual friends right now. You might have some fixed assets you want to sell, your gun collection perhaps, I'm not sure. You're inspired, though, to do something creative and fun that's unusual, unconventional. Maybe you're working on your holiday display of lights or something, and that's been a great lift up for you. And I definitely watch my health and keep my immune system strong. Okay. Greetings, Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. Well, it's been kind of fun and dandy, and, even if you were just doing Zoom dates or Zoom meetings with older siblings and friends that have your back and best interests, that's okay. That's been good, and, that could continue this weekend, but we're kind of entering into this part where there's losses, and you're tying up loose ends, and you need to pay your debts, and you need to face your karma. And once we get to January 20th and the sun moves into Aquarius, everything will be all, glorious and dandy again for you. But, until then, I'd be like, let's keep a watch on this. Now, Jupiter in your first house, it's going to ease some of the pain. Even Saturn in the first house, it may give pain and restrictions, but there's a steadfastness, there's a slowness, and there's some real deep wisdom that you can obtain and that you're aware of, and you might be able to make more sense of this conjunction than a lot of people, because, you're midwinter and coldest sign in the zodiac. Of course you're going to give the most detached view. I don't know if Aquarius is like that when I say that. Coldest sign in the zodiac. It's kind of true, though, right? Think of Ronald Reagan. He did some cold-ass stuff to the poor and the immigrants and the people suffering from AIDS and la la la. And he did some great things for military and Star Wars and all those other kind of things. What do you know? You can't blame him, right? All right. Well, greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. So, this is where we gain faith. Thanks for being here for episode 500. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell. KozMcKev, Planetary Persuader. Be with you next week.